Welcome to the lesson on converting repeating decimals to fractions. So I know I stated in the previous lesson that I was going to cover this very topic. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's say that you have a repeating decimal of, let's say, 66 hundredths. And you probably already know what this is as a fraction based on the previous lesson, but let me just show you how you go about converting it to a fraction. All right, so the first thing you need to do is set the repeating decimal to x. So this will look like this. X equals 66 hundredths. Okay, so now the next thing to do is you need to multiply both sides of the equation by 10 to some power. So your power is dependent on the number of repeating digits in the decimal number. So in this case, we just have one repeating decimal number, which is 6. So since we have one repeating decimal, this is really 10 raised to the first power, or 10. So now the next thing to do is take and multiply the equation by 10, or 10 to the first power, however you want to look at that. So it looks like this. So we have 10 times x, which is equal to 10 times 66 hundredths. All right, so the next thing to do is go ahead and multiply by 10, right? So if you take a look at this decimal here, you're actually going to move this one place to the right. So you're actually, when you're doing that, you're actually multiplying by 10. So you have a result of 10x, which is equal to 6.6. Because notice we moved the decimal point from here to here. So just ignore everything else here. So that's 6.6, okay? All right, so what's the next step? Well, next what you're going to do is subtract the original equation from the new equation. But first of all, you're going to subtract x on the left side of your equal sign. Always make sure you do that. All right, now you can go ahead and subtract. So our new equation is 6.6, so we're going to subtract our original equation from that, which is 0.6. So the next thing to do is to solve. So 10x minus x is simply 9x. Bring down your equal sign. 6.6 minus 0.6 is simply 6. You don't have to write 6.0 because it's understood to be 6. Now the last thing you're going to do is solve for x by dividing both sides of the equation by the coefficient of x, which is 9. All right. All right, so now we're going to solve for x. So we know that 9 divided by 9 is simply 1. So we're left with 1x. And of course, we don't write the 1. It's understood to be 1, right? So x equals 6 divided by 9. Now, what we need to do for this particular fraction is simplify it. So we're going to divide by its greatest common factor. So in this case, we will be dividing by 3 in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Oops, that should be a 9 divided by 3. Okay, so now we get a result of 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So there you can see that our repeating decimal of 66 hundredths is equal to 2/3. 2/3, 2 over 3. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to another example. And then I'll show you the shortcut way of doing this as well. Okay, but I wanted you to see exactly how this process is completed. All right, so let's say that you are given, let's say, see 0.1010. Okay, so we know that two digits here are repeating. So that means we have a 10 raised to the second power, right? So now what we're going to do is set this equation equal to x, or set this number equal to x, right? So we're going to say x equals 0.1010. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is that you already know that you're multiplying 10 twice, right? So 10 times 10 is 100. So therefore, we will be multiplying both sides of your equation by 100. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have 100 times x, which is equal to 100 times 0.1010. All right, so now since we're multiplying by 100, what we're going to do is take and move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So that's 1, 2. So we have a decimal point right here. So since we've moved our decimal point, we can ignore everything over here. All right, so now we have 100x, which is equal to 10.10. So now the next thing you're going to do is divide by, or I'm sorry, not divide, I'm working ahead of myself. Next thing you're going to do is subtract your original equation from your new equation. So you're going to go ahead and subtract x, and then you're going to subtract 0.10. Okay, so now that's equal to 99 because 100x minus 1x is 99x, and that's equal to 10. So the next thing you're going to do is solve for x by dividing both sides of your equation by the coefficient of x. So in this case, your coefficient is 99, so we're going to divide 99x by 99, which is equal to 10 divided by 99. All right, so solve for x, and as you can see, 10 over 99 is already in its simplest form. So that's equal to 10 over 99. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the shortcut for both of these problems that we've conducted, okay? Let's do that now. So let's say that you have 0.66. Okay, we already know we have one repeating decimal of 6. So since we have one repeating decimal of 6, you're going to use this as your numerator. All right, and we always divide by 9. But since we have just one digit that's repeating, we're going to divide by 9. So now we can go ahead and simplify. So the greatest common factor for both numbers is 3. And you get a result of 6 divided by 3, which is 2, and 9 divided by 3, which is 3. So 2/3 is your answer for this. All right, so now let's go ahead and work with 0.1010. So notice we have two digits that are repeating, right? So our numerator in this case will be 10. And then what we're going to do is take this and divide it by 2 9s, which is 99. So now we already know that this cannot be simplified, so our fraction is 10/99ths, or 10 over 99. So that's it for this particular lesson. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.